for people who haven't noticed, I've been going live on YouTube as well because y'all know they like to restrict me over here when I start talking about things that really happen. And when I start telling too much of the truth, I get restricted. So I'm streaming on here and also I'm streaming on YouTube as well. For those of you who like to follow me and like to stick, see when I talk my talk and we do our thing, because real political is real as it gets. Y'all know how real it be getting over here. So I want to start out by talking about Ebro. Ebro, some of y'all who don't know, who don't listen to like New York radio or listen to radio shows, Ebro, Ebro in the morning, he's from like a New York radio station. And I noticed that now in the political climate, it's a lot of radio people like Charlemagne's and the Ebros and the people like this are starting to become more familiar with politics and they're starting to talk politics more. Um, so Ebro is one of those people that he decided that he wanted to talk politics, and when he started talking politics, he started finding out that in this country that they don't want you to talk politics. They want you to keep your mouth closed, and the higher ups, like the people in these kind of radio stations, and they're all controlled. Mainstream media, being radio and TV, is all being controlled. You can't go out and just say what you want to say no more. You got to say what they want you to say. And if you don't say what they want you to say, then you ain't saying what they want you to say. So they're going to have you removed. Just like when I go live on here and I start saying what I want to say, a lot of times they restrict my lives or they take me down. They just take me off the air. They be like, okay, we don't like what he's saying. They blocked my video. As y'all know, last week I got suspended for 3 days for talking about politics on TikTok. So free speech is already becoming the thing. That they talked about when they had the power, that they wanted us to have free speech. This was the whole reason why Elon said that he wanted to buy Twitter. He bought Twitter because he said that it wasn't no platforms that let people speak freely and have free speech, the freedom of speech. So freedom of speech has been threatened. Even though he said that, y'all know he had other motives, and y'all see what ended up happening. He helped this guy get elected with his network of stuff that he was doing. Y'all know what he was doing. He was putting these ads and running this algorithm in favor of this guy. He also donated money to this guy, and this guy I'm talking about is the president. Y'all know. So Ebro started talking about some stuff and political stuff, and he's from Hot 97 in New York. Ebro, his name is Ebro Dart, and if y'all want to go look him up, Ebro was somebody who I wasn't always a big fan of, but I can tell you, once he started talking politics and he started really breaking down some of the things he saw happening within our community and with the people, that's when I started becoming more of a fan of Ebro. But Ebro in the morning was abruptly canceled by Hot 97, and he claims that the owners wanted the anti-net Wahoo and anti-government progressive voice to secure casino license and VC funding. The feud, they said, started with Drake. Y'all know Drake. Drake who trying to sue Kendrick for making a diss that he felt like hurt his career. And Drake that was called out for a lot of different things by Kendrick, and y'all know Drake, so we ain't got to talk about Drake. But basically, him and Drake was kind of beefing a little bit, and Ebro responded by labeling Drake or as a right wing person, and Drake basically said to him in a text message, supposedly saying a DM saying "die slow, pu da 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 da." So that's what happened, and I can't say everything. I got to be careful. And then somebody said fire Ebro. Ebro already canceled, but we're not talking about fire Ebro. That's not what I'm saying. Ebro got canceled for speaking the stuff that I speak, for speaking the truth. They don't want you to speak the truth. They want you to not speak the truth. And when you start speaking the truth, you're on the verge of getting canceled, especially if you're in mainstream media. Y'all know what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. Y'all know what happened to Jimmy Kimmel for saying what he said about CK. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want my live to get restricted. But y'all know what happened to Jimmy Kimmel for the comments that he made about CK. So how is it that when he made comments about CK, they was talking about canceling his show and getting suspended and all of this being removed and all of that stuff because he talked about CK and what he saw and how they wanted him to have some kind of sympathy and some kind of feelings for what happened to CK. Y'all know who CK is. If y'all don't know, I'll text it because I don't want to say it because I don't want to get restricted. So when CK was unalived, then Jimmy Kimmel was on had to come and apologize because he's mainstream media still. So he had to come and apologize because of what he said, and they felt like he was insensitive to what happened. So therefore, they wanted him canceled, right? And for this person that's in my chat that don't even know what's going on, they talk about Jimmy is still on air. No, Jimmy had got canceled and he had to apologize, and he came back on the air. They was trying to cancel him for good, but he was suspended indefinitely. For the people that's in the chat who don't know what they're talking about. So that happened all because he was having his free speech, his freedom of speech, and he said what he wanted to say about what he was saying about what happened to CK. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because just recently, you know, the Rob Reiner, and his wife was unalived by supposedly by their son, you know, who has struggling drug problems and mental health. Is basically they're saying who might have been what happened to him or whatever, right? So that happened. But then look at the response that came from, I'm trying to find a name from the sleepy guy from we're gonna call him Sleepy Hollow or something because I don't want to say his name. So Sleepy Hollow, he respond with basically saying that's what they get because they didn't like him. So his response to something that happened to somebody being unalived is they don't like me, so that's what they get. So he's the leader that comes out and say, because I got to talk in code now. He's the leader that came out and had something to say about, oh, Jimmy Kimmel should be fired because of what he did and what he said, all of these things. But then when it came to Rob Reiner and his wife, because they don't like him, it's okay for you to talk bad about them. And because it is okay, because it's not somebody who supported you, it's okay to talk bad about them and nobody has to apologize. However, you got a lot of people that's big voices within the GOP that's coming out, and for y'all don't know who GOP is, within the Republican Party, that's coming out and saying that they don't condone what was said and they don't feel the same way and they don't share the same sentiment, and that he was a good guy, he didn't deserve, nobody deserves it. But the main voice, Sleepy Hollow, he just Sleepy Hollow, he just says what he wants to say, and he goes out and says all these things, and it's so crazy to me how he can say it and he could be insensitive, but when it's somebody else, they expect for you to apologize. They expect for you to apologize. You got to come on the air and apologize and say, "Oh, I didn't really mean what I said about CK. I didn't really mean, and I don't want that on nobody, and I don't wish that on nobody." That's what they expect for you to say when you're on the left. They want you to come out and talk about how, I don't wish that on nobody, and nobody deserves what happened to him. It was such a tragic thing. That's what they want you to say. But when it comes to somebody that's not a supporter of Sleepy Hollow, then when it's not a supporter of Sleepy Hollow, and then you can go and say whatever you want to say. You can say whatever you want to say, and when you say it, then it's okay for you to say it because you're being told it's okay by the man at the top. And as Catherine said, Sleepy needs to have a cardiac vasculation, cardio. You know, she said a heart attack. I was trying not to say it, but you know, basically that's how that works. So it's okay to talk about somebody when you don't agree with them when they're on the right side. You can say whatever. You can say the most insensitive stuff, and you can say that what happened to him is what he gets. But when it's somebody from the other side, you have to go on air and say, oh, you know, this is so tragic, and we don't want this to happen to nobody, and even if we didn't agree with them, this should have never happened. That's what they want you to say when you're on the left. So it's a double standard. When you're on the left side, you got to come out and you got to be all empathetic and you got to say all these things. But when you're on the right side, you don't got to do that. You can say whatever you want to say, and you can be unapologetic, and then you can take these tweets and you can retweet it, and you can post it. If you're the top leader, you know Sleepy Hollow could do all of this. And the thing is, he got backlash from people like Piers Morgan and Thomas Massey and people like that, which I'm not a fan of by no means, but they don't even want to go down that, you know, rabbit hole with him and say that kind of stuff because they know what he's doing is wrong, and because the guy don't agree with him, it's okay for it to happen. So I just want to remind y'all that how when it was CK, they wanted y'all to be all empathetic. But when it's other people that's not that don't support Sleepy Hollow, they got to go through all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy. Like they could get people could say the most horrible stuff about them, and just like when the senators got, the senator got unalived and they got attacked, it was okay. You could, and when Nancy Pelosi's husband got beat, they made all kind of jokes, and it came from Sleepy Hollow's son, and they made all kind of jokes, and they were saying all this stuff, and it was okay. It was okay. But I just want y'all as a reminder to know why when what happened to CK happened, we didn't feel no kind of way. We was okay with it. And I don't feel like Jimmy should apologize, because I would have never apologized. I would have said, I'm not going to apologize. I would have went and started my own podcast, and I would have went to do my own thing. So all of that happened, but also what we're dealing with in this country right now is that we're supposed to have Sleepy Hollow said that it's going to be no new wars. Do y'all remember the no new wars on my watch? And I'm going to end the wars, and how he takes all of this credit for saying that he ended 6 wars and 8 wars and all of this stuff and no new wars, and yet the main wars was not ended. The main ones that were going on, they wasn't ended, but no new wars, and saying that he stopped all of these wars and all this stuff. But now what's happening in Venezuela, basically, because they have oil, I hope I don't get restricted for saying this, but because they have oil, now they're being labeled as, as a foreign terrorist organization. Funny how that works. So when they have something that you want, then it's a different scenario than when they have something that you don't want. Then somebody talking about some line. I don't know if they're talking to me or who they talking to in the chat, but the thing is, Catherine said when Sleepy lips move, he's lying. He always lie all the time. And then these other people in the chat, this guy right here on Truth Seeker, he said that was an all-time low, and what a bad example of man to set a tone for a country. Yes, I agree, Truth Seeker. That's the one thing that we do agree with along with some of the other things that you said. I didn't agree, but I do agree with you on that. You don't do that. When people get unalived, it's supposed to be the same feeling. It's supposed to be the same feeling, but the reason why we don't feel bad is because on their side they don't feel bad. So you can't expect for us to feel no kind of way when it happens on the other side. That's the thing. And then somebody said, give me the source that said it's for oil. Go Google it. That's what you do. You got AI, you got all kind of stuff. Go Google it. Go find out. Because, they said in his announcement that he mentioned the word oil 5 times. Leading up to the accusations, he mentioned oil 5 times. It's out there for you to see it. And he's supposed to make a big announcement tonight. And that big announcement, some believe that it's going to be that we are going to war. I don't know if that's what's actually going to happen, but that's what the big announcement that might be coming on TV tonight that he's supposed to make. But every announcement that he make is supposedly be a big announcement. It's always a big announcement when it's him. It don't never just have to be a regular announcement. Always, I got a big announcement coming. So I don't know what's going on, but I know that something about to happen. He about to make an announcement. I got a feeling that it might be that we might be going to go into altercation, because I got to watch how I word things. With Venezuela. But y'all want me to take y'all on memory lane? Do y'all remember when this all started, when all of this started? It was a whole different scenario when this all started, because when this all started, Sleepy Hollow was supporting Maduro. Because they was comparing him to Sleepy Hollow. So at that time, him and Maduro was supposed to be friends. They was buddies. Maduro and Sleepy Hollow was buddies when it first started. So I would like to know how we go from them being buddies to where we are right now. I want to know how that was his boy when he lost that election, and he was supposed to be removed at that time because he actually lost the election, but he decided that he was going to stay in power in Venezuela. It was okay then. So how did it go from them being buddies to them not being buddies to where we are right now, to a big conflict going on? Because he supported this guy when he first came in. 47, Sleepy Hollow supported this guy when he first came in. So that's what I want to know about what's going on with this whole Venezuelan thing. Not that I care about Venezuelans. I don't. Call me what you want to call me. I don't know Venezuelans that live in Venezuela, but I know the ones here, they voted for him. So I don't care. Whatever happens to them happens to them. That's where I'm at, because they voted for this, and this is what they got. So I'm just speaking on the way things are when it's on the left and it's on the right. That's what my whole point is. If they go over there and do whatever, it don't bother me. I don't care. That's what they get, because that's what they voted for. And for the ones who didn't vote for it, I feel bad for you. But if you did vote for it, you're getting what you voted for. It just is what it is. You can't just take a man for his word when you believe him, when it's a good thing for you. But then when everybody else tried to warn you that this person was no good, you was okay with it because it ain't had nothing to do with you. You can't pick a side when you want to pick a side. Either you're gonna be on this side, and you're gonna be on that side. You can't be that person that think that I'm gonna vote for what's convenient for me, but then when stuff happened to people around you and your people start getting deported and ICE start coming for you and all this, you can't do that, because you thought that. I remember during election time, y'all was saying, oh, he won't do this and he won't do that and that won't happen. No, it happened. He doing what he said he was gonna do. For a lot of y'all Venezuelan people who voted for this, he's doing what he said he was gonna do. You're getting what you had coming. So the way I see it is that you can't expect for people that didn't see it to feel some kind of way for you. This is what you wanted. You got what you voted for. But you ain't think it had nothing to do with you because you thought you was safe. But now you starting to see that you ain't safe. Now is a problem. Now you want people to come see rescue. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. So along with that, it's a lot of other stuff going on. So Susie Wiles, which is the Trump top aide, she's like the chief of staff. Susie Wiles is like the second up to him. She's like his big aide. Susie Wiles, if y'all don't know about Susie Wiles, go look up. Susie Wiles did some interviews with Vanity Fair, and she said that Sleepy Hollow had an alcoholic personality. Now, they also say he don't drink alcohol. So I'm trying to understand how he has an alcoholic personality but doesn't drink alcohol. Is that what we've been trying to tell y'all all along, that he has mental problems? That something is going wrong with Sleepy Hollow? He can't stay woke. He having mental problems. He having all kind of surgeries and hiding things from the people and keep on taping up his hands that they saying is swollen and bruised from shaking hands. Y'all want me to believe that he's shaking so many hands that his hands are starting to swell up? I don't know. I don't know if I could believe something like that. Isaac Martinez said his voters know his ish. They just trendy as followers. That's exactly what they are. As they tried to follow it because they thought it made sense for them. They did what they felt like was in the best interest for themselves. They was being selfish, and they thought that it wouldn't come back on them, and it would just only be a local thing that would affect other people. And then let me see what else we got on here. I'm trying to respond to some of y'all real quick. Thank you for the hearts minding my business. And then Bronco said, absolutely, we're getting exactly what we voted for. Trump is doing a great job. Sleepy Hollow ain't doing nothing great, because I could talk about the job market. You want me to bring that up? Because that's another thing I was going to bring up once I got off of what Susie Wiles said, is that the fact that the job, look at the job, look at the layoffs, look at the unemployment. Unemployment is up. Unemployment is up. The job market is down. The Deutsche effect or whatever is not working. The unemployment spiked to its highest in 4 years. In October alone, it lost 105,000 jobs. 105,000 layoffs. 105,000 layoffs in October. And you want to talk about he's doing a good job? Sleepy Hollow doing only good job he doing is sleeping. He sleep very well. He gets some good sleep. But the fact that y'all think that he's doing a good job is crazy to me, because the layoffs, the economy, like his approval rating is at 36%. 57% of Americans now disapprove of his handling of the economy. How can you say that he's doing a good job when 57 Americans saying that they have a negative outlook for 2026? And what about all y'all people that was talking about crypto and Bitcoin being at its all-time high and Doge and all of this stuff, when unemployment is at 4.6%? How can y'all think that things are going great, and then when you look at what's happening in the crypto market, it's crashing. It's crashing hard. Even XRP. I remember having a conversation with a guy about XRP. He was saying, "Oh, XRP, baby, you see what's happening? Yeah, you see what happens since Trump got put in charge and blah blah blah. And we see what's going on with XRP. What's going on with XRP right now? What's going on with these cryptocurrencies right now? It ain't at an all-time high no more. And yeah, some of the stocks are, because y'all know how that go. Some of the stocks are, but are we going to determine the economy based on? Are we going to determine our economy based on the stock market, or what people are facing in real life, which is grocery bills, electric bills, and just going out and having a good time bills, like all of this stuff? Like, that's so crazy. And then somebody said Trump is not getting good sleep. He spends his time on social media, right? He don't even do that good. He don't know how to keep his mouth closed. And then Liz said they still waiting for that Deutsche check. I want my Deutsche check too, which I knew we wasn't gonna get it, but I would like my Deutsche check since that's what they said. And then Truth, I don't know. Truth Seeker said Mary Golden, 80 years old and miserable. I don't know about that. I know who is 80 years old and miserable. Sleepy Hollow, And then somebody, Dogma said, not to worry about it. Cryptos and stocks always go up and down. Yeah, cryptos and stocks do always go up and down, but the reality is what's happening right now is because of his policies, because of his financial policies. This businessman who y'all said was a good businessman who could run the country, and y'all went beside the fact he wasn't experienced and that he was selfish and he only cared about himself and his family getting rich. That's the only thing that y'all forgot about. And somebody said Bitcoin, Ethereum. Truth Seeker said Bitcoin, Ethereum is down. It's still not up. So as I was saying, Susie Wiles, let me get back to my talking point. Susie Wiles said that he has an alcoholic. She said that he has an alcoholic personality. She said that Pam Bondi handling of the Epstein files and label was not good. She criticized it, and she said J.D. Vance is a calculated conspiracy theories. This is coming from inside of his White House. This is coming from inside of his White House. So I want to know how y'all people who are such supporters can ignore the fact that his chief of staff is saying what everybody is seeing. And you know what I'm saying? I want to understand how y'all see that. How is it okay when the people that's from internally, and y'all see what's happening in the House and the Senate with the healthcare? Do y'all know what's going on with healthcare right now? Oh, they're fighting. It's internal fighting going on right now within the healthcare, because the subsidies are expiring on December 31st, and a lot of people healthcare is going to be going up, and it's going to be raised. Some people double, some people triple. And the reality is, they set themselves up for failure, because when we had the shutdown, the Democrats was fighting for the shutdown because they were saying that the GOP was trying to take away people health care. So they was like, we're not going to let them take away people health care, which is why the government stays shut down for so long. Then you had 8 Democrats who decided that they want to go ahead and open the government back up with a possibility of a vote for health care. But now you got like 4 Republicans in the House that are saying that, we need to do something about healthcare. But the rest of them, they fall in the line. So once this healthcare subsidies expire, if they allow it to expire on the 31st, a lot of y'all people are going to be in a lot of trouble, with y'all healthcare, because people are not going to be able to afford the healthcare, and it's going to lead to people not being able to afford it. And y'all know what happens when you can't afford healthcare. People are going to start dying. That's what happens. And then little Lisa said that also he's a germaphobe. He doesn't shake very many hands. He doesn't greet people with a handshake. So thank you, Lisa, for saying that, because all of this, his hands is bruising and all of the swelling is from shaking hands. He don't like shaking people's hands. And then when he don't know how to let go. He like to hold on to people's hands too long. But we already know, Lisa, that what they're saying about that is just not true. And then Dog MA said reality is life doesn't fix overnight. No, But y'all try to blame Joe Biden for life getting bad overnight when y'all knew when he came into office, y'all knew who fault it was. Y'all knew Sleepy Hollow had caused a whole pandemic, but y'all ain't want to say that, but y'all want to blame this man for everything else that happened. But y'all want to ignore the fact that when he came into this big mess that was happening with COVID and with people dying and us walking around mask on, y'all like to give him all of the credit for how bad things turned. Y'all like to give him all of the bad publicity for 2021 when he just came in. Y'all like to give him all the bad publicity for 2022. And the person I'm talking about is Joe Biden. Y'all want to give him all the bad publicity. Y'all want to give him all of that bad publicity and talk about he calls this and he calls that. Y'all was saying it within 1 year. So why is it that within 1 year, y'all guy, within 1 year, he don't get no blame for nothing. He don't get no blame. All he get is let him cook. Let's wait to see what happens. Let's give him a chance. No, y'all didn't give Joe Biden that same grace. Y'all didn't give Obama that same grace. It's only when it comes to y'all, guy, where y'all say, let's just sit back and wait. Y'all give it some time. Give them more time. It's funny that they get all this extra time, even though the unemployment is up, the stagnant pay is happening, people are getting paid less money, the job market is bad, unemployment is up, people are getting fired left and right. Y'all want to give him grace. Oh, he ain't had time. He had plenty of time. You know what happened in this? If you go back and look what happened in 2024, things were going great. The unemployment was going down. The prices were coming down. The gas prices that y'all like to talk about in 2024 compared to 2022 and 2021, the gas prices were going down. But y'all ain't want to give Joe Biden no credit. Y'all want to give all the credit to Sleepy Hollow. And now Sleepy Hollow is in charge. Now y'all saying, let him cook, give him a chance, all of these things. And I'm trying to understand how the double standard, how y'all don't see that. And then this person, I'm not really worried about the country with Trump in office. You should be worried. That's the time to be worried. And so I was worried then Biden. No, you need to be worried now because Sleepy Hollow ain't even, his brain is fried. He having all kind of health problems, and you ain't worried. You should be very worried. You should be very worried. And it says they voted no. Ron Grant said they voted not to extend the subsidies, and I saw that they did vote to not extend the subsidies. But I also heard that they were trying to work on a solution because there's still people that's not okay with it. But guess what? They could go ahead and let it cancel because you know what's going to happen when they do that? Everybody going to cancel insurance. The health insurance companies at the top who think that they're winning right now, they're going to find out what happens. When you take away them subsidies, nobody's going to keep that insurance. Nobody. I don't see nobody paying double and triple for the insurance that ain't barely going to fix nothing. Like, that would be crazy. And I don't even know what Ryan talking about. Ryan came in talking about crying or something. He taught another crying black person or whatever we're trying to say is mean. But Ryan, that just goes to show how racist you are. And your mama didn't do a good job raising you. But you're going to be okay, though. You're going to be okay. So that's the reality. And let's see. And then somebody had nerve to say Biden was asleep at the wheel and auto sign everything. But what's happened with Sleepy Hollow? I see him sleep every time he go on the TV. Sleepy Hollow was sleepy. This dude sleep during everything. He slept through his own son graduation. So we ain't even gonna talk about sleep. We know who get to sleep. And then this person, there we go. There go my restriction that I knew just because that's how they like to get me. And I get 2 restrictions already for talking about Sleepy Hollow. No matter what I call them, they give me restrictions. And then Ryan said, "Let me guess, you went to HBCU." Let me guess, Ryan, you was raised in a right wing, right family in the middle of America in a backwoods somewhere. Let me guess, that's what you was raised in. Your mama didn't train you better. You got to have better home training next time. Somebody said 2 burgers away from 2 burgers away from a McDonald's heart attack. Oh, that's coming. That's coming. And then this dude talking about your dad never came back with the milk. I like when racist people come on my live because I love racism. You know why? Because when they start all that talk, they come in with all that racism. I like to remind them of where they get it from. They get it from their family. They come from their house. That's bad home training. So when you come in with all that, I'm going to tell you what it is, and I'm going to try to help you to understand that your parents did a horrible job raising you, and this is why you were that way. That's what happened to you. And they can restrict my life all they want for calling people out. And yes, he do. He said, Sleepy Hollow said he loves the poorly educated with no brains. And then these people they like to talk. They like to talk that talk in here, and they don't realize that even if my live do get restricted, I'm gonna say what I got to say. If y'all want to come here with racism, I'm gonna tell y'all where y'all get it from, y'all mama. So I'm gonna call it what it is. So be racist all you want to be. That means your mama did a horrible job and your daddy did a horrible job. That means you need to go back and talk to your parents about how you were treated growing up. That's what you need to do. So as I was saying, the jobs is not good. The Deutsche with the mass layoffs, the unemployment is up, the inflation is up 3%. 7 to 10 Americans now described the cost of living is unaffordable, and this holiday is going to be bad for a lot of people because people can't afford to buy gifts. People can't afford it. You know what I mean? And then I like what let's say Sally Wright said, check the stats on how many YT daddies don't pay child support, right? And how many don't go down to those clinics that they try to block. They don't like to talk about that though. They don't want to talk about all the clinics that they like to go to and send their daughters to after they get, inseminated or whatever by a black man. They don't like that. So they take it now to the clinic and they go try to get that, handled, but then they want to try to block it. They want to try to block it. You know what I mean? Like that's the funny part, man. But as I was saying, this economy ain't looking good. The job market ain't looking good. They want to blame it on AI. We're not gonna blame it on AI. We're gonna blame it on just the tariffs and stupidity because we have a weak leader. When you have a weak leader, you have weak things that happen, and this is what's happening. So, inflation is at 3%. The grocery and meat is up. Meat is up 6.2%. Appliances are up. Like the labor market is weak. And the thing is, this is what y'all want to talk about. Y'all want to talk about all of this other stuff, but the reality is, I don't care how you try to say give him time and all the stuff you want to talk about, let him cook and all that. We're not gonna let him cook because he already cooked and we already all got cooked with him. That's what happened. We all got cooked with him. So the reality is, for y'all people that still think that this is okay, especially the blacks and Hispanics that still think y'all did the right thing by voting for this dude, I'm gonna say to y'all, thank y'all for joining my live because y'all should come here more often so I can educate y'all and get y'all to understand that y'all made some bad decisions and somebody need to give y'all some therapy and some counseling. And I'm here offering my services to y'all for free because y'all need it. Because obviously y'all wasn't in y'all right minds when y'all did it. And then Jackie Whitworth said, you got 3 more years to cry. No, you got 3 more years to cry because I'm not going to cry about it. What you got to understand, Jackie Whitworth, is that black people don't have a reason to cry. We already, everything that's happening already happened to us on a daily basis. It happened to us on a daily basis. We don't cry no more. Them tears dried up. So you can say all you want, cry all you want, all of that. But the reality is, if y'all like a horrible job market and y'all like the prices of everything keep going up, then go ahead and keep it going. And she said, you crying now. Jackie, you know what? I'm laughing. I'm excited to see how horrible y'all gotta do because you know what? Once he get done doing what he gonna do, as what I said he was gonna do, it ain't gonna be no more, y'all. That whole MAGA party is over. It's dead. Y'all killing it. It's gone. Once he get done with what he doing, y'all gonna see what's gonna happen. If y'all don't believe that it's gonna get worse before it get better, and when I say get better, once he get the F up out of here, that's when it's gonna get better. Yeah, they saying a lot because they like to hear me talking, and they like to see the thing about MAGA people and people on the right. They like to pick fights. They like to pick fights. They don't like to just mind their own business. They like to pick fights. They like to say, "Let me go see who I can fight with today." So they go listen to a person that's on the left or to somebody within that party, and they say, "Oh, let's pick a fight," because they think they know how to fight. But what they don't realize is that they make themselves look stupid and dumb. Because when you start reminding them about how dumb they are, then the live like to try to restrict your live. That's what happens. Some Dad Facts said, "Hey, real, what's good, Dad Facts?" But that's why I tell you, man, I don't worry about it. I don't. Hey, keep stumbling because Dogma whatever said I'd rather go have a drink. That's what y'all do, just like y'all leader. Go drink. Yeah, it says MAGA does enter with honesty. I'm not sure what you're saying, Dad Facts. I'm not really sure what you're saying, but long story short, as I was saying, I'm here for people like Dogma 55789. I'm here for people like you. I'm trying to educate y'all because y'all went down the wrong path, and somebody has to help y'all come back to the right path. Y'all need therapy, and I'm here to give y'all therapy because y'all fell for it. Like with a cult, sometimes when you join a cult, you don't see what's happening. Somebody has to help you and remind you of what's going on. You know what I mean? They have to remind you of what's going on. They need to help you get back on track. So I'm here to help y'all. I'm not here to bash y'all. I'm not here to pick a fight. I'm here to educate y'all. Dad Fact said MAGA doesn't enter with honesty. They don't. They like to be brainwashed, and they like the whole cult thing with daddy telling them what to do. They like daddy, so they might as well went to some Diddy parties, which some of them probably did, but they like the whole daddy thing. That's what they like. They like somebody to hold their hand and walking through things, and they want some leader that they feel like is gonna make them feel amplified with their thoughts and beliefs of what they believe, with all their racist beliefs and all of the stuff they believe in. And Jackie Weaver said, I hope you get paid for your live. I do get paid for my live, Jackie Weaver. I get paid for people like you to educate people like you, because y'all need therapy, like I was saying. Yeah, he they daddy. That right, Ryan Grant. You see what I'm saying? So that's what they need. That's the kind of stuff they need. And that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. So if y'all like somebody to look up because y'all parents for whatever reason didn't raise y'all right, then we here to help y'all. So we here in this live to help y'all to overcome the obstacles in life that y'all face with. Because people like me and what y'all think when y'all think y'all can say racist stuff and stuff like that, it don't hurt me. It don't bother me at all. You know why? Because I was raised better than that. I was raised better than y'all. I was raised in a better place than y'all. So I don't feel no kind of way when y'all try to say stuff like that to me. My life is gonna be the same whether you say what you say or not. So that's where that's at. But for the people that are here to be educated, the MAGA people that got that went down the wrong rabbit hole and that got caught in the trap, we here to help y'all to come back to the other side. You know what I mean? And that's what we're here for. We're here to help y'all come back to the other side. I know a lot of y'all is far gone, and for some of y'all it might be too far gone. But you know what? We're here to help y'all. So real political, real as it gets. I talked about the daily things today. I might be back on later once he do his big announcement about whatever he got going on, which it ain't gonna be a good announcement, which I already know. And basically that's what we here for. So real political, real as it get, man. Make sure y'all check me out later on my next live, and make sure y'all check out my videos. And I'm also gonna be on YouTube as well. All right, so I'm live on YouTube as well for people who haven't noticed. I forgot to end the live, y'all. So thank y'all for watching, and I will be back probably tomorrow. When I start talking about things that really happen, and when I start